Good morning. My name is Summer, and when I review the stimulus material, The Namesake and Ultra Fast Fashion is Eating the World, provided by the College Board, it led me to the research question: what are the negative effects of stereotypes on adolescents in the U.S.? A stereotype is a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. Stereotypes are powerful not only because they shape how we view others, but how we view ourselves. Stereotype threat is the fear of doing something that would confirm negative perceptions of a stigmatized group that we are members of. As shown in the graph above, 94% of the participants were able to identify at least one race-based stereotype. 44% listed the stereotype that blacks are less intelligent than whites, which was the most common one listed. From this graph, you can see that children who were aware of the intelligence stereotype had assessment scores more consistent with the release from stereotype. There are many factors that can increase stereotype threat, which are the difficulty of the task, the belief that the task measures their abilities, and the relevance of the stereotype to the task. Youth are conforming to gender stereotypes to fit in and gain social status, threatening gender equality progress nationally. A direct example of stereotype threat is from the Journal of Adolescent Health. A young girl named Cassie was stereotyped in her classroom before taking a big test. She was extremely smart, and everyone knew that she could pass this test. After getting told that girls aren't good at math and that she wasn't going to do good, she did exactly that. Cassie feared confirming the stereotype that girls aren't good at math, and this fear caused her to underperform on a test that she was more than prepared for. There have been many studies and tests done to prove stereotype threat, and they all lead to the same conclusion, that stereotypes negatively affect people, especially adolescents in our society. Another example is straight from the stimulus material, The Namesake. Goggle, a 14-year-old boy, asked his parents to change his name because he wanted to fit in with his peers at school. He thought his name was different from everyone else because there are so many stereotypes in school where immigrant children are outsiders that don't fit in. Goggle thought that since his name was an American name like his peers in school, that it was a weird name and that he should change it to fit in. These examples of stereotyping show how adolescents conform to these stereotypes to fit in with their peers and to not be judged. Gender stereotypes enforced by the segregation of boys and girls when they reach puberty contributes to significant health consequences, including violence, victimization, and depression. Gender norms negatively impact women's economic empowerment by influencing ideas of the appropriate roles women and men should play in society, in the home, and in the workplace. Stereotyping in schools can lead to bullying, negative attitudes towards classmates, and lower academic achievements. Culture diversity is increasing in today's schools and is leading to immigrant children finding themselves vulnerable to negative stereotyping, social exclusion, and discrimination. There are many solutions to the problem that I presented, but one solution outweighs the others. Adolescents can change their academic performance and future outcome by changing their mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. A fixed mindset describes people who think they can't change their personal qualities. They tend to believe they have a certain level of skill and that they can't change the level of intelligence. There is a direct link between experiencing stereotype threat and having a fixed mindset. Children with fixed mindsets report higher self-doubt, poor problem-solving strategies, and increased anxiety and boredom in an academic setting. A growth mindset is when people understand that they can improve their abilities and intelligence through hard work and dedication. Children with a growth mindset often demonstrate effective problem-solving strategies, independent self-instruction, and lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. It has been said by Samantha Costello that anyone or any age can develop a growth mindset. Adolescents need to recognize that mindset is a choice. By changing the way you address a problem, you change your mindset. There should be more education in schools about mindsets and how it can change the way you think about people. The solution I propose is not the most plausible because you can't force people to change their mindsets. Measures should be introduced to promote fairness and equal treatment in schools. By doing this, we will break the recursive cycle of devaluation and underachievement, which promotes a more inclusive and equal society. In a study done by Aronson, Fried, and Good, students wrote letters to middle school students explaining that intelligence is malleable and grows as we flex the brain's muscle. The researchers found that the students in the group that wrote the letters have higher GPAs and higher engagement in school. When students persuade themselves that intelligence is developed through effort, It allows them to be more productive and successful in school. Teachers should be more diverse in what they read and teach, and must break the cycle of teaching about the same individuals from different cultures, such as simply focusing on Martin Luther King Jr. when there are a range of persons of colors to choose from. Students should be educated on stereotypes and their negative impacts. By doing this, students will be enlightened on how much they really do that really affects their peers. All these measures will lead to adolescents changing their mindsets to a growth mindset. The adolescents who embrace more gender equal views were less likely to report depression and stereotype threat. Thank you.
All right. For your questions, your first one is, did your research go in a different direction than you originally expected?
Originally, I was researching just stereotypes and how they affect people, and my original question was just how they affect people. And by seeing all the research that I found that they negatively affect people the most, I changed my research question to the negative effects rather than the positives.
Okay. And last question, what additional questions emerged from your research and why are they important?
Additional questions that emerged from my research is why adolescents conform to these stereotypes, and another question is why these stereotypes negatively affect people. And these are important because all of these questions led me to my final research question.
Okie dokie.